Welcome to the Two Stubborn Nigerians channel. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like, share the video, and subscribe.
Hitler Wears Hermes 8, Sincerely Adolf by Westside Gunn. It was released on August 27th, 2021. Comes in at 13 songs, 40 minutes, 29 seconds. As I mentioned, it is the 10th mixtape by Westside Gunn, the 8th in the Hitler Wears Hermes series or mixtape series. It's his first release of 2021, which is a big deal. Big deal. Obviously, following his triumphant 2020, where he ran off with the MVP of the Two Stubborn Nigerian Awards for his slew of projects, quite frankly, whether it be Pray for Paris, Fly God is an Awesome God Too, Who Made the Sunshine, all his work with Griselda. So this was, a momentous moment. You were saying off mic that you didn't even necessarily know this album was dropping until the day it came out. I was someone who's been waiting for this album really for most of the year, but definitely for like the past month, knowing that he said it was going to drop at the end of August. I was waiting for Benny to drop, Pirates Picasso. I was waiting for Boldy James to drop by Jackson. So it came. Westside Gunn, Hitler Wears Hermes 8. React.
Stove God Cooks is the man.
He's been cooking. All he does is cook.
Man. He is the man. Yo, this might sound crazy, but I think he's my favorite artist off of Griselda.
He's the number one.
He's so cold. He's so cold. I guess, I don't know, because when I downloaded this album and I heard Stove God Cooks, you know how I usually do. I don't like looking at my phone for what names and features on the song, what names and features on the album are going to be, because I don't know, it's just not something I usually do. When I do it by accident. So again, I didn't realize how much Stove God Cooks I was going to be in for with this album, but I enjoyed every last second of it. And if you couldn't tell, if you haven't listened to the album yet, Stove God Cooks is on a large percentage of this album, to the point where I would damn near call this a collaboration album.
I mean, it's definitely not. But I see where you're going with that.
Like, it feels like one. If this was Hitler Wears Hermes 8, Sincerely Adolf, Westside Gunn, and Stove God Cooks, I wouldn't question it. I wouldn't question it at all, because Stove God Cooks is damn near on what? He's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 13 songs. It feels like more.
That is a testament to Stove. Because it's not a collaboration album in any way, shape, or form. But he does take over the album, and he takes over in a way that's so natural. So natural. It just seems so free-flowing. And it's dope, because obviously he makes his first appearance on Mariota, which I just played. And every single time you're like, man, I want to hear more Stove God. And then right there's more Stove God. And because he's used in so many different ways, sometimes he's rapping, sometimes he's singing a hook, sometimes he's just talking, like doing ad-libs talking. Like, he's using so many different ways that each time it feels refreshing and different. So it doesn't feel like a collaboration album in the sense of like Watch the Throne, calling back to our last episode. It doesn't feel like a collaboration album in the vein of a written testimony either. But it does, like, you have this almost like a narrator figure walking you through this album, walking you through this project, and like just narrating you and keeping tempo and keeping pace throughout the whole shit. And the way he's used in so many different ways, and his voice is so iconic and his flow is so magnetic. He does take over the album, intentionally so, on the part of Westside. Yeah,
that's the thing. It never felt like, because I felt like Stove God Cooks was the dominant voice on this album. His artist, so I walked away from this album saying, yeah, no, it damn near feels like, as I said, it felt like a collaboration album for me. But I never felt like Westside Gunn lost control and he just lost on these songs. It felt like he was saying, yo, you guys aren't showing enough love to my new artist, so come and listen to Stove God Cooks, come and listen to Mac Homie, come and listen to Boldy James, come and listen to Rome Streets, who, listen, I had never heard of Rome Streets before, not today, but the time I listened to this album. I'm interested. Just from that verse alone. I wheeled it up. I had to wheel it up because I didn't expect that I didn't expect that. And that's, again, I think it's part of the genius of Griselda, man. They keep on finding these artists they're rappers, man. Like, these guys are rappers, and they all just fit different veins. There's no overlap, but in that same breath, they're all good at giving you that Griselda feel. Every single one of them give you that Griselda feel whilst being individual. I love it, man.
Yeah, no, you should definitely go back and listen to a lot of Run Street's projects if this is the first time you're hearing about him. He's on a extensive back catalogue, been doing his thing for years, to be honest. And this is the beauty of Westside projects, man. As we've said multiple times on this podcast before, the beauty of Westside projects is not Westside's rapping. It's not him. It's the fact that you're going to find someone. It's the fact that everyone who steps on here is going to put their best foot forward. It's going to sound amazing. Rome's verse on Draymond is special. Like, in my right hand, I use my right hand to shake a millionaire's. My right hand, I shake a millionaire's hand. With my left, I serve the junkie. Like, that being your first line, crazy. As I said, Stove God was cooking all over this shit. Mac Homie continuing his assault on the top of rap. Coming off Pray for Haiti being one of the better rap albums of this year. And now here with another feature on this project, which he's just spitting. It sounds so beautiful, sounds so eloquent. Kiss, fresh off doing what he did to Dipset in the verses, coming back, sounded like a million, just sounding like a million, whatever currency you deal in. A million cryptos or whatever that shit is.
That's a million cryptos.
I don't know. I don't deal in that fugazi. Like, if I can't touch it, it's not real. Like, but I loved it. I loved the pace of this album. I love the fact that it's 40 minutes. It's shorter for Westside. I wasn't expecting that, especially a Westside mixtape. Hitler Wears Hermes 7 was like a damn near an hour long. Like, this feels different. It feels so much more compact. Feels so much more condensed, but it never feels you don't, at least for me, I didn't leave it feeling empty. Like, I left it feeling fulfilled. It doesn't always feel like the same song over and over again. Songs have different feels, they have different sounds. Mariota doesn't sound the same as Vogue Cover. Vogue Cover doesn't sound the same as Margiela Splitos, which doesn't sound the same as Draymond. The song Draymond is what you do after the brick, nigga Draymond. I mean, wow. You know what I'm saying? That might be the best basketball bar of the year. Sorry, Cole. Cole had a whole album dedicated to basketball bars, but it's what you do after the brick. Bitch, I'm Draymond. Like, that is crazy. And
I had to will up the whole song after
that. And when you know who Draymond is and the fact that he'll shoot a brick and be screaming in Kevin Durant's face, we were winning before you. We don't need you, bitch. Like,
fam, that, oh my god, it's just crazy because he's still dominating the game. He'll still dominate the whole game.
He's having a huge effect on the game. Like, he'll be shooting up bricks, but the game he isn't shooting up bricks, he's dropping 32 points in a game 7. So it's big. And then I have to get here. I would have loved to, give it a bit more intro, give it a bit more je ne sais quoi, but I just have to get here. Lil Wayne sounds the best he sounded in 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Sounds the best he sounded in 5-6 years. And this verse on Bash Money is special. I didn't know that I wanted Westside and Lil Wayne together, but of course I did. It's Westside. Lil Wayne sounds the best he sounded in 4 or 5 years. I encourage everyone, whether you're a Westside Gunn fan or not, if you're a hip hop fan, you're a Lil Wayne fan, at least of his music, not necessarily the person, but at least of his music. And if you're a Lil Wayne fan, you have to hear this verse. This is so sensational. Like, it's just a patented Lil Wayne flow. Schemes that only Wayne could think of. It just flows so well. He's saying a lot. Like, the lyrical skill here is special. Like, it's so refreshing to hear him rap like this, when for the most part we haven't heard him rap like. Obviously he does it in spots here and there. Mona Lisa off the Carter 5 a couple of years ago, obviously acclaimed. A lot of people liked his verse on Seeing Green with Nicki earlier this year, but like this beat, and on this project, we came here on track 38, Just Vibes, and I was talking about how Westside talks about himself on Twitter as if he's Biggie or Jay or if he's Nas, and we were going back and forth on whether he should or whatever. But I think to an extent you would agree with me where I say, like, Westside and Griselda is the preemptive force in hip hop right now.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
the preemptive force in hip hop right now, and maybe has been for 2-3 years. We can go back and forth and debate that, but that is hip hop right now. The culture, the sound of hip hop right now is Griselda, and it meant something last year on He Who Made the Sunshine when Kiss came and was rapping, and you could feel the affection that Kiss had for the faction. You could feel the affection that Slick Rick and Busta Rhymes had, and how they put their best foot forward and took it to a higher plateau. I believe Westside might be on Kanye's album.
Yeah.
Knowing that they had been in the studio years back when Kanye was doing the Sunday services in Wyoming. But Wayne, knowing who Wayne is in this game, easily in most people's top 10, some people's best rapper of all time, Lil Wayne coming and hopping on a Griselda track, a Westside Gunn track, and rapping like this. Again, being another one of those artists who recognizes the importance of the faction and recognizes the importance of the Griselda movement to say, I'm not phoning in this first.
Yep.
I'm going to put my best foot forward. And the fact that this is the first time you and I are talking about this and we both agree, he sounds the best he sounded in years.
Years. I was so surprised. I was damn near scared when I looked down at my phone and saw that it was this song specifically was featuring Lil Wayne. But it was so weird. It was like I was nervous at first for maybe 5 seconds. And then I said, this is Westside Gunn, this is Griselda. And artists never phone in their verses when it comes to Griselda. Like the one thing that we've been saying from episode 1, track 1, we've been saying, yo, artists always put their best foot forward when it comes to these guys. And we've never ever faltered on that. We've never said, I wish this artist had given us this, or we didn't need this feature here. Every artist comes through, puts their best foot forward. It doesn't matter if they're a legend in the game. It doesn't matter if they're a rookie in the game. It doesn't matter if they're anywhere in between. They always come as if this is do or die. We need to perform right now.
And I think that everything you just said there only serves to accentuate how great Stove God Cooks is.
Yeah.
The fact that we're both here saying that Wayne sounds the best he sounded in years, and the star of this show is Stove God. Stove God hasn't released a project in 2021.
Yep.
If the year ended right now, to me, he's on Rapper of the Year list.
Yeah, for sure.
Top 5. For the control that he's had over the year, for the fact that Reasonable Drought for both of us, I believe, is still living as if it came out in this year. And the appearances that he has had, every time he raps, he's getting better every single time. Like, obviously, we're not talking about Boldy James, Bo Jackson today, but where he's on Diamond Dallas on that album, singing.
My goodness.
A hook.
My goodness.
I'm like, there's no way. There's not. And then he comes on this project, and not only is he doing hooks, he's rapping, he's doing ad-libs. He's just all over the place with it, and it always works. It always works.
He might be the most versatile artist on Griselda outside of Armani Caesar.
Up there. Up there. Easily.
He's super talented, man. Again, and I don't say it lightly. I really don't say it lightly, because if you've listened to the podcast, you know how I feel about Benny, you know how I feel about Conway, you know how I feel about Armani Caesar, you know how I feel about Westside Gunn. But for me to come here and say that Stove God Cooks might be my favorite out of Griselda right now, don't take that lightly at all. Don't take that lightly at all. The star power that is emanating from this man is crazy.
Man says, sign my name on the cocaine right now. We were spinning in the pot so long, we got dizzy. Had them circling the block so long, they got dizzy. I have him shot the whole... Man, yeah, man said, stamp my face in the cocaine right now. Like, he just... You said it before about Stove. He makes it all sound fun.
And it's such a weird angle, because everyone's always made it sound, yo, you don't want to live this life. I'm ready to live this life. Stove God says, hey, come enjoy it.
Come enjoy it.
I'll sign my name on the
with a brick. Bring me that brick. I'll sign it right now. Like, yeah.
We at the church parking. Yeah, that's so did. No one makes it sound as fun as Stove God Cooks, man. I love his music. He's
Right.
too good.
He's too good, man. He's so good. It's so good. And then on that same song, Kiss comes in, and Kiss is special, man. Kiss is special. I'm genuinely so happy that in the past month or two he's been getting the love and respect that his career deserves, especially from our generation and younger, who may not have been, alive and coherent necessarily for the bulk of his early career when he was shining. I'm so glad that Griselda are where they are, so they can continue to give him features and he can continue to knock the shit out of the park. This is the beauty of it, man. I love the fact that our rappers get. Someone tweeted it actually the other day, and I loved it. You look at Griselda, right? These niggas are in their 40s. They're just now starting to get their shine. And I love the fact that we've transitioned from this being a young nigga game. Like, it was always a belief that you had to be a young nigga. Like, I mean, we just went back and forth on this a few podcasts ago, but like, Jay-Z is 51, still rapping like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one can compete with him rapping. And so these guys being in their 40s, just getting their shine now, and being able to like sit so comfortably at the top of the game. Not even just sit comfortably at the top of the game, also control the sound of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I knew who Rock Marciano was 5 years ago. But to be able to see his influence on rap right now, especially in the mainstream of rap, everyone's sounding like this, or everyone has tracks like this, and that's from his influence over the past decade while he's been in his 40s. That's from what Wes and Conway have been doing. And for them to now get the shine and take it to new levels, and then get the legends to come and rap on their flows, rap on their beats, and have them rapping over Derringer beats, and Alchemist going on this run that he's been on over the past 2-3 years, and the whole sound of mainstream hip hop that we talk about transitioning to this lo-fi production, street talk, but also at the same time glamour talk, but also at the same time I'm better than you talk. Like when Westside Pooty comes on here and talks about, and if you're still broke, jump off a bridge. Love it. Best feature artist in the game. Easy.
Fam, that's it. I remember when we were, what was the episode? I can't remember which episode it was. We have too many now. It's a problem. When we came and did our teams, did our label teams and that.
Oh yeah, the draft.
Draft day.
Yeah.
It's called draft day? Whatever. Yeah, so when we did track whatever draft day, I remember struggling. Like a lot of artists I'll be thinking of, I would Google them and find out that they're over 30. And I like that the game is aging up, because there is like, I feel like there's a word I'm going to steal it from you straight up, je ne sais quoi, that older people can tap into that we're not necessarily getting from our younger artists. And when we do get from our younger artists, it leads people to say, man, they're wise beyond their years, because they shouldn't be rapping like this at this age.
It's interesting, and we would maybe have to go back and do the hip hop history on it, but like, at least in my time, this may be the first time where like the biggest selling artist isn't controlling the sound. Like, I don't think, when I think of the sound of hip hop, it isn't, like we said last week, Lil Baby's the biggest selling artist. Young Boy's got the numbers. Obviously, Drake will come, Kanye will come and do what they do, but I don't believe they're controlling the sound. Like, to me, the sound of hip hop right now is Hitler Wears Hermes 8. It's Alfredo. It's the Plugs I Met 1 and 2. And so even when I went on social media on Friday, all throughout my timeline from the accounts I follow, like Kendrick dropped. And Kendrick wasn't the name that I was seeing getting celebrated all day. It wasn't the name I was seeing getting celebrated all weekend. It was Stove. Because the culture is a place where like the appreciation for the type of music and the type of rap and the type of storytelling that we see coming out of the Griselda camp and those of that ilk is just higher than I think what we see coming out of the younger ones. And that's not to say that they don't have their place, because they definitely do. Like if I go to a club tomorrow, I'm gonna hear Wants and Needs. I'm gonna hear Lil Baby nonstop, and I want to. I definitely, however much I love it, I definitely don't want to hear the Plugs I'm at 1
At all.
I don't.
At all.
I don't. In fact, I do, but I don't, because then I'll be like, oh, but when I was doing it, I was scaring the hose away.
Yeah, I think niggas don't want to see me start talking about brick talk in the middle of the club. It won't be fun for anyone.
That's how I came back from Minnesota. And obviously, when I left, I was an aux guy. Like, every function, give Paul the aux, let it run. They tried to give me the aux to the first function. I was like, my nigga, if you give me this aux right now, you're all listening to Freddie Gibbs Alfredo, and you'll be pissed. You'll all be pissed off, and I'll be having the time of my life. So you man play what you want to play. Because if you give me this shit right now, I'm gonna talk to you about. What like,
having aux responsibilities can be the most daunting thing in the world.
Having aux responsibilities when you don't want to play what you know everyone wants to hear.
Yo, I remember when Romaro invited us to go and film for her music video for her shoot, and she put me on the speakers, and my job was playback in it, so I just had to play the song over and over and over again for people at home. And whilst they weren't recording, they're like, yeah, just play music for everyone to vibe to. And I'm looking around and I'm seeing, this rapper just got out of pen. These guys don't look like they're here for play at all. Uh-huh. This group of people probably would enjoy the same music as me. What do I play now? And I was stressed. I was nervous. I just wanted to play music. I was just nervous. I'm like, I want to play Wizkid right now, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to hear what true love is really all about.
They don't want to hear the essence, like.
Yo, these niggas are not trying to think of. I might be rough around the edges.
Yes, like.
The nerves.
That's what I'm saying. I'll be in functions now. People are like, yeah, Paul, here's the aux. I'm like, if you give me this, I'll take you on a deep dive with Stove, bro.
And I'm not apologizing.
I'm not apologizing. I will literally break down how he sold a brick on Burnett.
I'll be hopping in my boy's car and I'll have the aux. I'm like, fam, do you guys even know about? Listen. This is our money. Mac 10s for every single body. Like, you're not even deep in the lyrics.
And it's a double entendre because I could either give you one or I could give you one. Let's wrap this. What song do people need to hear off Hitler Wears Hermes 8? Sincerely, Adolf.
Man, it's a tough one. I would probably have to go with. I'll go with Perry Perry. I'll go with Perry Perry.
Great choice.
Again, Stove God Cooks is one of my favorite features on here, but Rome Streets, that was a revelation for me. That was a revelation. I haven't heard of him. You said he has an extensive back catalog, so I will go and do my research because I need to hear more. I need to hear way more. But Perry Perry, great song. You?
Great choice. I'm gonna go different to what we talked about already. I would say Spoons with Conway. Conway sounds really good on here. Raps just as Conway does. He sounds sensational. If you haven't listened to Pyrex Picasso as well by Benny, I would implore people to go and listen to that. Conway has a verse on that where he spits. It's an amazing fact. It's one of the last two tracks on the album, similar to this. Steals the show, and so he's really in a bracket right now. Yeah,
it's funny you say that, even because I was thinking it yesterday when I was listening to Donda. And I heard him and Westside Gunn on one of the songs. I remember thinking, like, yo, this, like, Conway just sounds really good this year. Like, this whole year, Conway has been special.
He really has. Every time I've heard him, it's been like, yo, he's elevated.
Yeah.
Elevated. It's even like when he was on the Plugs I Met 2. No, it was Burden of Proof. At the end of Burden of Proof, right? Okay. Like, that line, or Hove said he was a fan, and that line brought tears to my eyes of my fiance. Maybe it was because she realized I'm the motherfucking man. Like, so it's like he realized he's the motherfucking man and just took his shit to a new level. Like, you're absolutely right. He has sounded really, really good this year. Which, I mean, he's the machine, La Machina. What do we expect?
For real.
Give me a rating out of 10.
I'll give this a 7.5 out of 10.
You missed the trick. You should have just given it an 8.
No.
Because it's Hitler West Ham has 8. Like, what's your problem?
Because 7.5 rounds up to 8. Come on, man.
So just give it an 8. Okay, you're just giving it an 8. I agree. I'll give it an 8. It's a really good project. It's a really great vibe. That same Griselda feel, just even more polished, even more heightened. Wes continuing his assault on the rap game. If you broke, jump off a bridge. It's Westside Pooty. And that was Hitler Wears Hermes 8 since the Adolf. Really good project.
Power to the people about to do maintenance. Thank you so much for watching that video. If you were feeling it, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.